Power Hour. I'm David Strickel, your host. I want to start out our hour, and I'm going to give time for people that are live with me to sign on. So I'll do a little housekeeping up front. So I first of all want to start the half hour. It's not an hour anymore; it's half hour now. By congratulating Debbie G, who is not here. I'm giving her a break this week. She, no pun intended, she's still recuperating. If you saw last week's live, she was on with me, but I know that it was a very painful thing for her to come and brighten our day like that for half an hour. And I appreciate that she did it. This week, I thought I would just jump on by myself and share a couple of thoughts with all of you. But I do want to congratulate her and Spirituality Gone Wild on their 6-year anniversary. They had a little mini celebration last night. I had prior commitments, so I couldn't make it. But I know a lot of you watched this on Spirituality Gone Wild on Facebook, and I just want to shout out to all of you that are members of that page and to Debbie for your 6-year anniversary. I guess I met Debbie right after she started Spirituality Gone Wild, so I've known her for a while, almost going on 6 years, and that page was brand new at that point, and it's certainly grown, and it means a lot to a lot of people. So if you're watching live, and I see a lot of you are jumping on live now from YouTube and various places on Facebook, say hello so I know that you're out there. If you have questions or comments, just type those in. And if I catch those while I'm live, I will address them. If not, I usually go back and update the comments after we do our live. But I created 2 videos this week. If you're following on TikTok, there is the Stream of David TikTok, and there's also the Taya Practice TikTok. I do post different content on the 2 of those. We don't overlap a whole lot. But 2 of the videos that I did, one that I posted today and one that I've already recorded that I'll be posting probably next week, is about vibration and vibrational flow, the up and down flow of vibration. And some people will describe that as sort of an ebb and flow or this mix of vibrations that we're in all the time. But yes, we are operating in a polarized environment. So vibration, what I refer to as the energetic realm, is not static. It is always going from high to low. The way that I describe high vibration is the high vibration of source. And all of my going inward and all of my going into channeling the stream and trying to understand what the universe is all about, and understanding that really we have the physical realm and then we have an energetic realm that is all encompassing of the physical realm. In the energetic realm really is source. And source, I call it source because it is the source of all creation. It is pure positive energy that drives all new creation, period. And it really is as simple as that. I know that there are endless descriptions of what that is and how it functions, but this has been my life's work to really understand what that is. And my understanding at the end of the day is it is pure love. It is pure appreciation of all that is. It is the most powerful force in the universe, and it is the universe. And all physical expression is an expression of that. Physical environments are polarized. The physical nature of a physical environment includes enough density that we have this separation from source function in the duality between that creates the duality between source and anything less than source. I know as human beings, we have all been taught that there is good and evil, and that evil is this demonic or this dark force energy that drives us to do evil deeds and evil things. But really, it's the what I would call ego consciousness that really drives that stuff. Because if you look beyond humanity, there is not much evidence of evil. Yes, there is a food chain. We live in the earth environment. Life feeds life. So yes, animals do harm one another, primarily for territory and food and things like that. There's usually a function behind it. Humanity is a bit unique in that we harm for many other reasons. The root of that might be some type of commerce or territory or something like that. But we harm for all sorts of reasons, all sorts of ego-driven reasons. So we're all human beings. We're having the human experience. So I isolate most of these teachings to really focus upon humanity. And as far as humanity goes, the way that we experience vibrational flow is we are moving up and down vibrationally, up and down a spiral, if you will, moving through life at various levels of vibration, from the top of our spiral, which is pure joy, pure love, pure abundance, pure source, all the way down to the bottom of our spiral, which is as absent of that as we can possibly get ourselves, mostly ego. Although ego is always present and source is always present, we never completely separate ourselves from that energy. More of it is in the driver's seat of our lives as we go up our spiral, more of source. As we go down our spiral, more ego. So all of the things that we consider evil or dark, or all of these labels that we like to place on things, I know that there are belief systems out there that believe that there are dark energies and dark thoughts that are not your own. Somebody commented on my TikTok this morning saying that, there's dark energy and dark thoughts, and you can absorb the thoughts of others. I don't buy into that. That's not part of my belief system. It's not what I teach. I think everyone's welcome to have their own belief system. I think the spectrum of belief systems is part of this polarized environment. But what I share is always going to be my best explanation for all of the exploration that I've done throughout my lifetime. And when I share things, I have to say, I have experimented. I have put these ideas and concepts into play, and I have moved through experiences in my life that lead me to that conclusion. It's not just a theory. It's a theory that's been tested. If I'm going to share it with you, it's something that I've tested. It's something that I've worked with other people in teaching and boot camp and the entire boot camp and things like that, that I've seen the evolution of consciousness produced from this theory that leads me to believe this is the way that I think things are. So that's what I share. If someone disagrees, I'm always fine with that. Because again, the spectrum of beliefs has a lot of value for us. We're not all here to have the same experience. The spectrum of beliefs is a sign of the polarized environment, as I said, and it also creates expansion of consciousness. Someone teaching me something that I didn't necessarily buy, and me not believing it and forging out on my own to find my own truth created expansion of consciousness for me. So if we all believed the exact same thing, my first recollection of church was that my mother and father sent me to a Baptist preschool. And I'm sure there was plenty of religion offered in that experience. But we weren't religious, because my mother also sent me to be babysat by the Church of Christ minister who lived down the street. His wife was my babysitter around that same time frame. And I remember her telling me that my family was all going to go to hell because we didn't go to church. So those are my first recollections of religion. So my parents divorced when I was 6. My mother moved us back to Louisiana, to her hometown, and her family was more religious, and they were Methodists. And so I was indoctrinated into the Methodist religion, and Methodism was pretty calm. It wasn't hellfire and damnation in some of the things that some of the other religions include, but I still questioned it. It still wasn't completely answering every question for me. What I liked about it was the community and the fellowship and all of the good stuff. There was certainly more good than bad that was offered. But as I got older and realized that I wasn't what the church was telling me I was supposed to be, I had to separate myself from it. And I went out and explored. And I went through a period in all of this exploration, all of this, what is this knowing that I have that's guiding me through life, since my parents aren't bothering to do that? What is that? What is that? And so I was very fascinated by horror movies. I was very fascinated by psychic mediums, anything psychic or anything ghost. I was all about it, reading about it, watching movies about it, watching TV about it. And during that time frame, this was more in my 20s and 30s, I had a lot of haunting experiences. I had a lot of really creepy ghost-like encounters in my life. And some of it was kind of scary and dark. In fact, it's sort of when I moved to Seattle in my late 30s, early 40s, and we bought this older house at the top of this hill, There was something really creepy about that house, and we manifested a lot of haunting like activity in the house. We had crows flying into windows and dying, like multiples in a day. One day, we had a chandelier that fell from the ceiling in the middle of the night. We would hear footsteps and voices and appliances turning themselves on and off. We had all kinds of stuff going on until finally, and I was starting to get really, really deep into the stream at this point. And I realized that I came to understand over a period of time that I was the one, not just me, but my partner as well, because he was experiencing the same thing I was. We were conjuring this stuff. We were creating this stuff. Our focus upon it, our fear around it, all of these things, that sort of darkness that you get in the Seattle Pacific Northwest area. It's a little dark, it's a little creepy, it's a little colder. We moved there from Florida. It was just a whole different vibe. And we brought that vibe with us and just created this sort of haunted house scenario. And I already realized by that point, I'd known for quite some time that we create our own reality, but I didn't realize at that point, I think, that we create all of it, that all of it really is our own creation. And that we were the ones creating that, and we were focusing on it. And I knew enough not to go down too deep into the rabbit hole of fear around it, although it was really getting really, really getting creepy. The creepiest thing that happened beyond the chandelier falling in the middle of the night is I was sitting one afternoon in my family room, a Sunday afternoon, and we were both home. My partner was in another part of the house, and I think I was reading a book in this family room, and we had these bookshelves on either side of the fireplace. And I heard a noise, and I looked over, and I saw this picture. We had these picture frames, and this picture moved right in front of me. And I thought, well, that's interesting. Is there a rat? What's going on back there? And then it fell over forward. I didn't see a rat scurry away. The cat was, in the other room. It was at that point, the cat was always in the dining room. It was never like, jumping up on counters anymore. He was really old. This was the end of his life. So there was no explanation for what caused that. And that was just the creepiest thing I'd ever seen at that point, seeing something move and fall and right before my eyes. And turns out it was a picture of me. So I realized I'm the one that's doing all this. In fact, that picture of me falling over, it was a childhood picture of me. I realize I'm the one that's doing this. And so if I'm doing this and I'm creating it, then I have the power to stop it. And so we had a friend come over, and she burnt some incense, and she went through and did sort of a blessing on the house and gave us this prayer to recite. And I did it. I gave it power. And sure enough, all of that stuff went away. All of it. And I've lived in older homes since then. I lived in a 60-year-old house, not terribly old, but an older home that had a lot of history to it. Not a thing happened in that house after that. So I have never had a haunting experience or anything creepy like that, or dark or demonic, happen to me since then. And I've really gotten into channeling since then. I've really gotten into tapping into the energetic realm and speaking and sharing and really getting out of the way of that. And I've spent years, as most of you know, doing that. Never have I encountered anything that seemed dark. It's just a lack of source. And when you're frightened by the lack of source, then you are creating a scenario for yourself that can seem dark or demonic. And certainly we all have a dark side to us. Our own egos separated from source can come up with all kinds of thoughts and ideas. But I do believe they're all coming from inside the house. That's been my experience, because I had it going to a point that I think it was more extraordinary than most people experience. And then I solved it and I stopped it, all with internal work, all giving that prayer power and that clearing of the energy power, and simply understanding that dark energy is nothing for me to fear. And before I could, I don't even know what you call this, but I have this energy movement in my body. It started with the Kundalini experience. Around that time in 2010, when I had that Kundalini eruption of energy, I was also using a pendulum a lot. And I could very clearly get yes and no guidance from the pendulum. Over time, I came to understand that, yes, the pendulum is reading my vibration and giving me, if I'm in a high vibrational state, some pretty good guidance. But after a while, I didn't need the pendulum anymore. That yes came into the left side of my body, and it still does to this day, as a big jolt of energy. And something that would be a no would be on the right side, if I'm thinking of a question or even audibly asking for a question. So I have that ability still, But I've come to understand that source is appreciation of all things. So source isn't really offering specific guidance. That's one of the reasons I don't do the trans channeling anymore, because really the stream's answer to everything is one thing: appreciate all that is. You're here for your expansive journey. There's no getting it wrong. And if you want more of something, focus on that. And if you want less of something, turn your attention away from it. I could sell that in a pamphlet, and other people do. And that's it. That's the whole thing. So I love geeking out on this stuff and talking about it. And I love the clarity, and I love sharing it and then getting your questions about it and exploring it even deeper. A lot of times when I would trans channel, one of the coolest things that would happen is somebody would ask a question in a way, or a question that I never thought of before, and I would learn something from the stream in that moment of that other thought coming in. But it was audibly being spoken, and I was channeling the answer to it. So there's still things to explore, and there's still expansion. It's not like I know everything, so I'm not going to trans channel anymore. But it's just the stream just flows more naturally now, and I don't feel like I need to deliver the performance of the stream for that experience. We can all go inward to our own version of that. And the thing I love about the stream is that that's what they were always guiding us to do in the first place. The Taya practice is a set of tools, but any of you that know about, if you've been through boot camp or you know what the practice is, it is a practice of going inward. The tools are about raising your vibration. The tools are about you clearing the things that drag your vibration down and disallow source. And as you raise your default vibration, your life becomes a reflection of that. It gets better and better and better in every single way. But we're not racing toward perfection with this. But understanding that high vibration, yes, is source, and low vibration is just sort of a tuning out from source. And that's really all it is. And if we allow that low vibration to be something that scares us, or we judge it as this shouldn't be, then yeah, we're going to have some negative experiences around that until we learn that we don't have to do that. There is nothing to fear in the energetic realm. There's far more to fear in the physical realm, in fact. So and there's really, in my opinion, nothing to fear in the physical realm. But if you're looking for things to fear, obviously the physical realm would be the place to look. So the concept of this up and down vibrational journey that we're on, and the reason that we're not looking to stop that, we're not looking to cure vibrational flow, we're not looking to heal our spiral. Yes, we can detune things that drag our vibration down, and our default vibration will go up and up and up, but it's never going to go to the top of the spiral and stay there. As soon as we start moving in that direction, we are going to create something for ourselves that's going to sort of correct that and bring it back down. I'm a great example of that, because last year around last fall, September or so, I was so blissed out. I was living in just such ease, not having to work, not having to have business, not having to worry about anything, living in a beautiful home, doing exactly what I wanted to do all day, every day, wanting for nothing. Didn't mean that there weren't things I could improve in my life, certainly, but I was in this blissed out state of I didn't want or need anything. Well, what did I do? I manifested the burning of my home. That created a disruption that's now, creating all these other new thoughts and ideas and other levels of clarity that I'm receiving. So that's automatic. That lower vibrational flow is always going to be there to drag us down from time to time to allow us to create more. Or if we are manifesting in the process, and we're manifesting everything is a manifestation, but I know everybody knows what that means, so I use that term. So if we're looking to manifest something specific, a relationship, better health, a fortune, a new business, more clarity, more daily happiness, whatever it is, if we are desiring to manifest something specific and we're in this process of creation, and we're starting that desire usually when we're starting to go up our spiral. Very often it's inspired from something that's happening lower on the vibrational spiral. We have some sort of problem to solve. We have a challenge to overcome. We have something that we are discerning is not our preference. That's what low vibration is for. Then if we stick ourselves in the judgment of that, I shouldn't be down here. I shouldn't be in low vibration. I shouldn't be having these spin outs. I should know better than this by now. When you're doing that, sort of beating yourself up for being a vibrational being, which is what your intention of being a human being on planet Earth is in the first place. But a lot of times when you first get into law of attraction and you believe that you're miscreating when you're down your spiral, and then you judge yourself for it, and you're judging yourself for it, you are actually prolonging that period. And you can keep yourself down there. You all know people that hold themselves in a lower vibrational state almost indefinitely. Very rarely are they up, they're down most of the time. And sometimes they stay down so low that it becomes self-destructive. And sometimes they separate themselves from their physical body and return themselves to their eternal state of being. We know about that. But if you don't actively work to hold yourself down, polarity is going to pull you back up. So you're down in low vibration. It inspires you to a new desire, even if that desire is just, I want to feel better than this. I want improvement from where I am. I can't stay here. I don't like this. I want something different, even if you don't know what it is. That's a desire. That then polarity pulls your vibration back up a little bit, and you start believing and trusting that you can manifest, and the improvement shows up. Whatever it is, the more money, the new relationship, the improvement in the relationship, the improved health, the new diet regime, or the new workout plan, or whatever it is, you start on that path of doing something, and you're giving it a lot of power. And then the vibration can continue to go up, but most of the time it's going to go back down. The newness of that initial high that you get from the new relationship or the new diet or the new regime or the new job or whatever it is, that's going to wear off in a little bit of time. The newness goes away, and then polarity is going to take the vibe back down, and then it's going to unravel, maybe a little bit, maybe completely, just depending on your vibration. And in the unraveling, so often we throw in the towel. Well, that didn't work, or something's wrong with me. I remember, reading about law of attraction, and even though I had an understanding of it, I wasn't manifesting every single thing that I wanted. And I would say things like, "Oh, my attractors must be broken." I get this, and I think about this, and I'm doing all these things, and I'm still not getting what I want. I wasn't fully understanding it. It took me decades to fully understand it. So the vibration drops, flaws start to show up, flaws start to reveal themselves. We can do two things. We can meet those flaws, those obstacles in joy. I'm seeing this thing now that's giving me a little more clarity on my new creation. What do I want to do with that? And I'm grateful that the vibe dropped a little bit, and then I saw this thing. Sometimes we do that naturally, but a lot of times we don't. A lot of times the flaws show up or things start to unravel, and what do? Well, that was a waste of time, or, oh, that didn't work, or, oh, this law of attraction stuff is crap. I'm not going to do this anymore. You start judging that dip, and then you're going down further and further and further because you're judging the dip. And you can create the complete unraveling or complete destruction of whatever it is that you were creating by doing that. And we've all done it. We've all done it on some topic. We've just completely judged it. We've taken the vibration lower and lower and lower, and we've completely allowed the unraveling of something. Because when you're in that low vibrational state, you are then that type of being. That's the tricky thing. You're not the same being when you're down your spiral that you are when you're up. So when you're down in low vibration, having that low vibration experience, you've probably trained yourself, and most of us have, to judge it, to demonize it, and to think very negatively when you're down there. But when you really get into learning about vibrational flow, you start catching yourself and you realize, I'm just in a funk right now. I'm in a low vibe space. I have no business thinking about any of this stuff while I'm down here, because down here below neutral, I am not capable of new thought. So I'm very much less capable of solving anything or creating anything down here, because there's no new thought available. I'm only capable of recycled thought, because source is no longer with me. It's with me, but I'm not really listening to it. I'm not really allowing it. I'm drowning it out with my fear and my judgment and my negativity. And I've got this cloud, and it feels like crap. And I don't want to be down here, but I don't even see my way out because I'm so far down my spiral. We've all been there. It's a natural progression to experience this, but you don't have to keep experiencing that way. You can go down, acknowledge that you're down there, and realize that this is just part of the creative process. And anything that's showing up for me right now, that person that I was so into when the relationship started, now I'm starting to see that, hey, they don't always call me back, or they don't always, give me the time of day, or they're not really acting the same toward me as they were in the beginning when they were trying to woo me, and now they're taking things for granted. Those are things that you're starting to notice. The flaws are starting to reveal themselves. Are they fatal flaws? Well, that's up to you to discern your preference, whether it's something you want to find appreciation for and go up your spiral or not. And I'll give you an example. My current partner and I, Michael, when we first started seeing each other, he was spending more and more time at my house. I'm really neat. I'm really clean. He's not. And there is something in this man's DNA that he uses the fake sugar. I don't want to hear judgment about that. he uses the equal packets in his coffee every single day. And for some reason, even if the trash can is right below where he's standing, he is not capable of putting those sugar packets in the trash can. And there's a million other little things like that. And when I first started seeing him, that was one of the things that when the newness was kind of waning, that I started to take note of, because we were spending more time together. And suddenly he's making coffee and he's leaving these packets and he's, doing stuff in the bathroom, of that nature. And I caught myself judging it and realized, I really like this person. I really, really like this person. This person likes me, even with all my crazy channeling stuff. He's not into it, but he thinks it's interesting and he's accepting of it. That's really cool. So, most people in our community here in Palm Springs are not into that. They're not into anything that smells anything like religion or spirituality. So it was really cool. I thought, there's so much more that I appreciate about him. I'm going to not just tolerate this, I'm going to appreciate it. So every time I see those packets, it's going to remind me of how special this person is and how happy I am that he's in my life. And I'm still looking at these packets every day. Every day, I still look at the packets and I still have that reaction. I don't go down my spiral over it. I know it seems silly, but how many times have we thrown relationships away over silly little things like that? We're looking to sabotage. We're looking for a red flag. If there's one, there's got to be 100 more. And then we just throw in the towel on things. We do that. But that's just a sign of the process of creation. That's why I talk about the universal process of creation, which is all encompassing of vibration, law of attraction, all of it, rather than just law of attraction. Law of attraction is just a sliver of the story. And it's the sexy one that sells books. I get it. But it's just a sliver of it, because if all you're doing is focusing on the attraction part and the conscious creation part, and you're not understanding vibrational flow, you're never going to be satisfied with those teachings, because vibrational flow is really where it's at. Those of us that are into Taya know that. Understanding vibrational flow, understanding that spiral, understanding why that exists, for me was very important. I talk about geeking out on this stuff. I need to know the why. I need to know the why on any topic. I always need to know why. Why is this way? Well, the why is very clear to me now. That high-low vibrational journey that we're all on creates this mixed bag of things. And the low vibrational stuff is inspiration for new creation. Always, always, all of it. We're all eternal strands of consciousness here having a temporary experience that we know is going to have a beginning, middle, and an end. And the only reason we have an idea of what that's supposed to look like or how long it's supposed to be in linear time is because we have this matrix that tells us what it's supposed to be. But then it's not that for everyone. Some people are never born. They manifest in conception and they never make it out of the womb. Some people never make it from childhood. Some people don't make it from the 20s. We have the 27 Club, all of the rock stars that meet their demise at 27. A lot of the pop stars of my generation or my era are all dying or have died in their 50s. Think about how many 80s pop stars, icons, died in their 50s. We just had another one, Sinead O'Connor. I think she might have been early 90s. But, we see that all the time. But the only reason that we think that we're supposed to live this long life is because we're taught that. And I want to live a long life. Sure, I enjoy life. But if we're placing all this pressure on length of time And doing it the way the Matrix tells us, what is that doing? Is it separating us from happiness? And the concept that we're never supposed to have an obstacle, oh, you poor thing, oh, you shouldn't have experienced that, that shouldn't be. Well, who says? Who says it shouldn't be? Who says you shouldn't have your life's obstacles? Because as soon as you start appreciating them, even if you just appreciate the fact that you're a human being living an imperfect journey and that you have this set of things that you've experienced, just start there. The clarity comes from the appreciation. And the Matrix tells us it's got to be the other way around, that we have to have clarity and then we can appreciate it. But we don't. We can appreciate it and then allow the clarity of source to flow from there. Because if you're down in low vibrational territory, you're not able to authentically appreciate. You're not. You're fooling yourself if you think that you're authentically appreciating something from down the spiral. You've got to find authentic appreciation for it. You're not just automatically going to do that. You've got to work toward that authentic appreciation of it. And again, it can be just as easy as, okay, this is where I am. This is what I'm experiencing. And this is part of being a human being. And it's okay. Boom. That's appreciation. That's authentic appreciation. So when you do that, then you go up your spiral, you get above neutral, you're allowing more source and less ego. And then the clarity is just natural. Your version of source, you all have it. We all do. Your version of channeling will come to you. And that clarity will be something that just pops in. Don't go looking for it. We all know via law of attraction teachings, even, that the things that you try to hunt down are going to just run from you. Don't try to hunt them down. Just allow that clarity to be this wonderful epiphany that just drops in unexpectedly at some point. Usually when you're doing something joyful and not on the topic and not trying to find clarity for it. It's magical. And it's opposite of what the Matrix teaches us. But that's why Taya is so damn effective, because we are teaching ourselves to operate our lives in harmony with universal law instead of in harmony with the Matrix, which we see most people doing. And that's the fearing and the doubting and the pushing against and the judging and the comparison and all of that stuff. And I can't possibly appreciate that. How in the hell could I ever appreciate that? I'm never going to. And I'm never going to appreciate that people are marginalized and harmed. And I'm never going to appreciate that. That's insane. I'm told that I'm insane on TikTok on a daily basis. Don't worry, I am. But I have found that I have proven to myself, and I have worked with enough other people, and I see some of you on here right now that have put the appreciation first, and then the clarity showed up later. So we know this works. We've done our own experimentation with it. We know it works. So if somebody wants to call us crazy, it's fine. We know this works, and it works better than the Matrix. And that's the great little secret that we've all got here. So Joe said, I'm wondering if you had to detune a lot of things at that time that you were not attracting. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to from there. I've spent a lifetime detuning, though. And certainly once I understood that my life's transgressors, and the biggest ones that I can think of, and this is probably the biggest for most of you, are parents. When I got a little older and came to understand that I needed to appreciate my parents, even though they weren't the Matrix version of great parents that we're told we're supposed to get, but they're using them as an excuse to continually allow myself to drag myself down vibrationally. I knew I couldn't keep doing that. So I found appreciation. Once I found the appreciation for them, the clarity around all of that just exploded. It just exploded around, oh my gosh, this was the best thing that could have ever possibly happened to me, to have these specific parents in this way. So the appreciation comes first, and then the clarity comes second. And we are all, I love detuning. I love it. The boot camp journey, those of you that have been through boot camp, we go in and we detune the deepest, darkest things in boot camp. If you're not in something like that, I always say, don't start with the deepest, darkest stuff. Don't start with the abused childhood or the person that really treated you poorly in some way, or something that was really traumatic. Don't start there. Start with detuning other things. Work your way up to detuning the bigger stuff. And understand that we are never fully detuned. I'm going to leave you with that one. we are never fully detuned of our transgressors. It is a lifetime of work. And I call it work, but it's important if you're going to embrace this, that at some point you come around to really enjoying the work. Love what you do. What I do is detune transgressors, and I help other people. I help guide people to detuning their transgressors. I love this. I love that. I love the journey. I love the work. We're never done. We're never done detuning transgressors. But if you love the work and you geek out on the process, then it's just something that you're always, you know, I'm not looking for things as much as I'm allowing things to reveal themselves to me as I move through life. And when I move through a low vibrational period, that's when the things start to show up. Oh, I thought I detuned that, and here it is coming back around again. That's why we call it detuning and not eradicating, because sometimes there's vibrational dust. Sometimes old things come back yet again. And it's okay that it does. It's okay. This is a vibrational journey that we're on. We can detune and detune and detune, and we can go higher and higher and higher vibrationally, but we never hit this peak or this ceiling. I think if we do that, then we end our human journey and we return to non-physical anyway. So I'm not looking to rush that process. I'm loving the process of detuning. I'm appreciative of things as they come along. And I have proven to myself now that I can have major unwanted life events occur and meet them in joy. Meet them and okay, I told you about the vibration of the house burning down. This is what we're doing now. This is what we're doing. And it's an experience, and it continues to be an experience. So that's what Taya is all about. And I've put the link in. If you haven't pre-ordered your copy of the book, I do have the link here. And you can write that down real quick if you're looking on the screen. If you don't see the link in the notes wherever you're watching this an hour in the future, the book goes on sale 11/11/23. You can pre-order the Kindle version of it now. And for those of you that want a hardbound copy, we are launching the hardcover on that same day. We are working on the website to get a system in place for a sign up for the hardcover version of it also. So the pre-sale is on now for our Kindle, and soon we'll have pre-sale for the hardcover. And you can get your copy of the Tire Practice. I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for watching. If you're joining us late, I see there's more and more of you signing on now. You can, wherever you're watching this, you can go back and watch from the beginning. We went into some pretty cool stuff. There's some really good life tools that we shared here today. And all of you and your wanting to know this stuff is what extracted it from me. So thank you for your participation. Good seeing you all.